What up? It's Past Minor, and welcome to Royal Swag Auto Crew. Now, what happened was, the previous video, I was given a tour of my '07 Ford Taurus, and alright. So then, after that, I started driving it around. I'm not gonna be here on it. I started driving it around, and then Friday, the starter decided to die out on me. So then I had to call the tow truck and had my car towed to the house, and I purchased this brand new starter. For my '07 Ford Taurus. And the reason I'm not going to install it myself this time, because the other starter I got it from Pull Parts and I installed that myself. But the reason I'm not going to install this myself is because I'm not feeling too well. Saturday night, going into Sunday morning, I woke up with a whole chill on my body. My body was aching. I felt lightheaded and, throwing up, and I just felt horrible. So that's the only reason I'm not going to install this one myself. I know how to do it, but I'm just not going to install this one because I'm still not fully recovered. So yeah, this is the brand new starter for my '07 Ford Taurus. Get this box out the way. For my brand new, for my '07 Ford Taurus SE, this is the brand new starter. And guess what? I got it off of Amazon. You got it off of Amazon? Yeah, I got it off of Amazon for like $53. I checked AutoZone and O'Reilly's and Vance Auto Parts, and all of them was about basically close to $200, if not at $200. And I didn't have it at the time. I went Amazon route, being that I am a member of Amazon Prime. So I went with Amazon. Amazon offered me a brand new starter for $53, and I'm like, hey, that's not bad. I ordered it, and of course it wasn't gonna come yesterday, because yesterday was Labor Day. Today's Tuesday, so yesterday was Labor Day. So it definitely wasn't gonna come yesterday. Anyway, I finally got it. I'm excited to put this on, or for this to be put on, so that some life can be restored to my car, to the Taurus. Okay? Now, here's the story of what happened. Driving around, and then we got to the post office, mailed some stuff off, and then when we came out the post office, got back in the car, turned the key, and then it started going boom, 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 boom. I'm like, huh? Okay, I turned the key, and then I turned it again, and then click, click, click. I'm thinking it's the battery. I got people giving me jumps, and it ain't working. So, it ain't working. So I don't know what's going on. So I got it towed to the house. My mechanic came Sunday morning, diagnosed it. I went Saturday. I went and got a brand new battery because I'm thinking it's the battery. You know, it's making a click, click, click. I don't know how old that battery is, you know. Since I got the car, I haven't changed the battery, you know. And then the previous owner, I ain't no telling if they changed the battery or if they kept the battery from, I don't know. But I went, got a brand new battery, put that in, and it still was click, click, click. I don't know why it was, and then that's when my mechanic came Sunday morning and was like, you know, he checked everything out and he's like, yeah. He said, yeah, it's your starter. You need a new starter, bro. And then, because I was telling him the symptoms and how it happened and, you know, and he was like, yeah, you're gonna need a starter, buddy. You know, so I asked him, you know, how much he's gonna charge to put it on, and he gave me a good price. So I'm just waiting on him to contact me back and let me know, you know, when and what time. You know, he'll be able to do that. Alright. So yeah, like I said, I'm just excited for this to be put back on so that the Taurus can come back to life. So that the Taurus can come back to life. That's what I'm excited for. First thing you do when you're changing the starter is you jack the car up. And then you make sure it's secure with a jack stand. Once it's secure with a jack stand, and you disconnect the negative terminal, disconnect the positive terminal, and then you go underneath to take off the starter. This right here, it's hard to focus, but this right here is the starter. Y'all see it? This is the starter. The electrical parts is on this side. It's a 10 millimeter, and I think one is a 12 or 13 or 14, one of them. And then you have three bolts. You got three bolts on this side. It's kind of hard for me to film with this camera in this tight spot. But yeah, there's three screws on this side. One here, one on the top, and then I think there's like one on the other side, like one on the back side. Once you take those off, it should be able to come right off. And what happened is, when they put the starter on, these vehicles, they put it right underneath the oil filter, which I don't understand why. Why would you put the starter underneath the oil filter? I mean, don't get me wrong, this 07 Ford Taurus, you know, it's great, it's comfortable, it's quiet, it's reliable, it's practical, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely a great, family car. And a great long trip car, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're taking a trip out of town. But the only thing I don't like about this car is that they decided to put the starter underneath the oil filter. So I had this issue before, and like I told you, I went to Pull Apart. I got a starter at the junkyard. Okay, I took it off. It was a pain in the butt, but I took it off. And then I put, this is the starter that I took off at the junkyard and put it onto this car, and it was doing fine. It would take 18 years to start up, but it would start up. And then it's like, I end up getting an oil change on this car, and my logical guess is that when they was doing the oil, because I went to Express Oil Change, they do my oil change for both my cars. So when they do the my oil change for this car, I'm guessing they don't know. So when they took the oil filter off, it spilled on the starter, and then over time, starter started going bad. You know what I'm saying? It started dying once that happened. But let's take these off. Always, 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 when you're taking a starter off of your Ford Taurus, you always start with the electrical part first. You start off with the two 10 millimeters, and then I think it's either 12, 13, or 14 millimeter socket. So you always start off with those, and then you always you always do these bolts last, because once you take these off, this whole starter is going to come off and fall off. So that's why you always do the electrical part first. So let's get it. Okay, so there is 2 leads that is connected to the starter. Now, I thought it was 3, but it's only 2. So there's a 10 millimeter, and then there is a 13 millimeter. So what I use is a 1/4 inch 10 millimeter 1/4 inch drive, which is, it's easier, it's smaller, so I'll go right in easily. So I use the 1/4 inch drive with the 10 millimeter socket and the 13 millimeter socket to take, take both of them out. Now we're gonna move on to the big boy. We gotta move on to the big boy. Now, the starter bolt, which is right here. Probably can't see it too clearly, but there's 2 starter bolts. One here, and then there's one up at the top. There's one here. I don't know if y'all can see that. There's one right here. Kind of hard doing this without the correct lighting. But yeah, I don't know if y'all could see it, but there's a bolt right here, and then second bolt There's a second bolt right up there. I don't know if I'm able to catch it with the camera, but there's two 13mm bolts. So once you get those out, then my camera's dying. Once you get those 10mm bolts out, then the whole starter should come loose and come off easily right away. This is the old starter that I just took out. Just took out the last 13mm bolt. There's two of them, one on the bottom, one on the top. So I took the last one out. This is the old one. This is the new one. As you can see, the old one. Now, like I said, this is underneath the oil filter. So when you're changing the oil, or you go to somebody to change the oil, when they open up that oil filter, then you have oil. Man, it's hot out here. Then you have oil that falls and drops on the starter. I still don't know why they would put the oil filter underneath. I mean, why would they put the starter underneath the oil filter? This is the new one that we're gonna put back on. Basically, you do it the same way. You same way you took this out is the same way you're gonna put this one back in. You're gonna line it up and put it back in. You wanna put the starter bolt in first. The 13mm starter bolt. You wanna put those in first before you connect the leads. So you place this in, and then you stick the 13mm starter bolt in there, and then you hand tighten it. Once you hand tighten it, then you go and put the other 13mm. If it's easier for you to start on the bottom, do it that way. If it's easier for the top, then do it that way. Personally, I think the bottom is easier. It's easier to start on the bottom, so that's what I'm finna do. Man. It's been a long few days, and this camera's about to die. Yeah. So the brand new starter that I purchased from Amazon, the solenoid was no good, because when I installed it, and yes, I installed it correctly. Did you install the wiring correctly? Yes, I installed the wirings correctly. I installed everything correctly. And I also had two professional mechanics come to take a look at it that confirmed that, you did a pretty good job installing this starter. So yeah, it's a whole lot easier to change it when it's a whole lot easier to change it when you have your car leveled up or jacked up a good amount, because the hydraulic jack I got, the hydraulic jack that I have, it was like the original bar for it. I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared. It disappeared in thin air. I don't know what happened to it, honestly. So I jacked it up as best as I could. I had to use an extension. I had to use an extension bar to stick it in stick it in the jack, that little hole thing where that bar normally goes, and I had to. And the thing is, the extension is so long that it's not even going down all the way. It's not even pumping down all the way like it needs to. So, which means it was taking longer for me to pump and pump. It was taking me a whole lot longer. And
Then he was like, that was you. No, it wasn't none of me.
so using that bar, the extension bar, I used what I had. You know what I'm saying? I used what I had. That's the best thing I can do, is use what I had. So I got it up to a certain amount, and that's basically the best I was able to do with that jack that I have. So I went under there and I was working with what I had, and it was very cramped because I was like this, like, you know, I'm underneath the car. I'm like, I ain't got space to, you know, extend. I'm like cramped up like this. So it's like, it made it harder. So what I had to do was which was sad, and I reported it, and I started the return process for this starter. I don't understand. It's a brand new starter from Amazon, but the solenoid is faulty. Like, what? What if it's brand new? Shouldn't all the components on it be brand new? I mean, that's what I was thinking. You know, that's what I thought. If it's brand new, it's like a brand new car. You buy a brand new car, you're expecting every component on that vehicle to be brand new. So this starter is brand new, and I'm expecting all the components on the starter to be brand new, but the solenoid was faulty. And here's the funny thing. I didn't film it or record it because it's been crazy a few days. I went to Pull Aparts, the junkyard. So I go to Pull Aparts. So I went to Pull Aparts, and I found this nice, clean starter off of what year was it? I think it was a '05, or I think it was a '05 Ford Taurus. And when I pulled it out, like at the junkyard, I don't know if y'all know, but at the junkyard, the cars are leveled up a lot higher. So when you go underneath, you actually have a bunch of room, you know what I'm saying, to work and do what you gotta do, you know? So when I took the starter out and I took a look at it, I'm like, from Pull Aparts, from the junkyard, I took a starter off that looks brand new, super clean. I'm like, wait, is this new? Like, what? Yeah, I ain't complaining. I went to check out, and it only cost me $32. $32. $32 for a starter that looked and seemed brand new. I mean, it worked better than the other starter that I got from Pull Aparts. It's working better than that. So I just installed it. After installing it, of course, I had to come in and jump in the shower and wash up and clean up because, you know, I was just tired and hot, you know, and I needed to cool off. But I put that starter on, the new used starter from Pull Aparts, because it's used because it's at Pull Aparts, but it looks new. So I installed that. I put the battery on. After I put the battery on, I cranked it up. No issues. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have to turn it off again. I have to do it again for me to wait. Am I hearing clearly? I turned it again. I'm like, yeah, she's alive. She's alive. She's alive. Stop. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, it's back online. So the new start I got from Amazon, I'm going to return that and have them refund me my money. And of course the car I need to take that to the car wash, or I need to wash it, whichever way I'm going to do it. I have to reorganize the trunk. And you know, it's just, and the PT is still in the shop. And the guy, he's been busy, but I'm going to ask him if he can check the fuel pump and check the fuel injectors and let me know which one it is. You know, so if it's the fuel injectors and the fuel pump is good, but the fuel injector is kind of, you know, then okay, cool, not a problem. I'll go get, you know, some fuel injectors. If it's the fuel pump itself and the fuel injectors is fine, then okay, I'll just go get another fuel pump and then have them put it in. Not an issue. Alright? So, I'm so happy for that. Thanks for tuning in on this, well, for me it's been a crazy journey. These couple of days with this car. But yeah, until next time. I said, till next time, let me head back. The baby's crying. Alright, peace out.